What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at Super7's deluxe version of Cheetara. So let's see what we've got going on. Let's check it out. As promised, today we'll be taking a look at Cheetara. So let's see what we've got going on. Taking a look at the package, we are on the slimmed down deluxe version of Super7. So you can see here we've got Super7 logo, deluxe logo at the top, Thundercats, that beautiful Thundercats logo, a big wide open bubble there with not much going on, Cheetara and your Thundercats logo at the bottom. Flip it to the back, there is your beautiful artwork, nice imagery, super reminiscent of my childhood. That's why we're here, right? But let's get her out of the box. Fresh out of the package, you know what you're getting into when you buy these, right? It's sitting there, it's a big open bubble. You see the lack of stuff filling that bubble, yet you still find yourself purchasing these figures. If you think that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. Okay, so here we are, right? I won't belabor the point of for $35 we should be getting a lot more. If you want to hear that, the Tiger video is up. That's how I feel about these, yet I still bought them, right? Why did I buy them? I had a little coupon action, so I didn't spend the full $35 on these. I just don't see how you could justify the $35 price point on these figures unless you really wanted it. And it is something that I did want on the shelf, so that's ultimately why I purchased said figures. So we'll get that out of the way. We know what we're getting, but we're here because we want to know more about the figure. So let's take a closer look. Moving in closer, we can get a good look at the Cheetara figure here. Now, I don't know. I'm 3 figures into this deluxe line, and I think that may be where I ended. I'm honestly, I'm not very impressed by these figures in hand. You're almost better off just going the route of the Ultimates or waiting for someone else to get the license, right? I mean, they're fine. It's just there doesn't seem to be a whole lot going on. You do get the details in the face, though, with the eye there. You get the spots throughout the hair, so you've at least got that, and on the upper back and shoulder area as well. So costume design is there. I mean, the color is there. I don't know what it is about these figures. Maybe things aren't detailed enough. There's no sort of shadowing. It kind of just looks like a larger scale version of a toy I would have had as a kid. You know, fairly plain, but captures the idea, right? And I was happy with it then, so I'll deal with it now, right? For your articulation, the head will look down to there, so your chin basically touching the base of the neck. It won't look back very far. Your hair is going to get in the way. However, I will compliment this hair, though. It's not a super rigid plastic. It does have some flexibility, a little malleability to it. So I like how that could potentially be good for your movement. You do get some movement side to side, a little bit of rock in there, and a little bit of additional back and forth. Arms work all the way around, up to there. Okay, so that's good. I like that. You get all kinds of movement going upward for your arm. You do have a single joint, though, at your elbow. Nothing at your forearm, and then a hinge at your wrist. You just have a little bit of upper torso movement, nothing through your waist, and then your leg does kick up to there, back to there, and then up and out to there. Nothing at your thigh, single joint at your knee, nothing at your boot, hinge and swivel at the ankle. She does come with her bow staff, which is nice, a good complementary piece if we're only getting limited accessories. There is a smaller piece that does pop right into the cuff on the forearm there. For comparison, here she is backed up against our Outback Rogue from Marvel Legends. I pulled this figure out because it is another female figure on a fairly basic buck, just for basis of comparison, right? At a lower price point, we're getting a better figure from a company that people consistently complain about not giving good figures at a good price point. So it's hard for me to even rationalize that argument when a company like Super7 is putting out a figure like this for $10 more. And for another comparison, just for height, here's a McFarlane figure. So we have Supergirl here. The McFarlane scale coming in just a little bit taller. The Supergirl, as you can see, does have the height advantage here. And to show a counterpart from the same line, here is your Super7 Deluxe Lion-O. That gives you an idea of the aesthetic of this subline so far. As I said in the Tiger video, I really don't buy figures just to hate figures, right? I buy them to represent a memory or a bit of nostalgia on my shelf, and these are still going to do that. I think I would just recommend, as I did with Tiger, that you just spend up and go with the ultimate version. Those seem to look better aesthetically and at least come with more to better justify the price point that you're looking at. All right, folks, well, there you have it. There is your Thundercats Cheetara from Super7's Deluxe line. It's a figure that will have representation on the shelf. I think that's about as good as it gets for me with this figure. The dollar to detail certainly isn't there. I've now purchased 3 of these figures from this line, and I have an idea of how I feel about this subline of figures, and this is, for me, is where I draw it. I won't be buying any more of these. I've gotten to this point, and it's just been hard to really rationalize paying that $35 mark for something like this. Look, I know there are fans of Super7 out there, and Super7 does a lot of cool things with their figures. The Ultimates line has a lot of cool stuff that I really like. This just ain't it. But at the end of the day, if these are figures that you're looking for, I do wish you happy hunting. I'm not here to take joy from anybody's purchases or figures that you're looking forward to. Just my opinions here on these figures. So I certainly appreciate you checking out the video. That's the 2 cents, folks. Of course, you can always find me on any of these socials down here. Most importantly, though, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe below. And until next time, take it easy.